in.
Party's over. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Financial Fun Friday. It's being done by my co-host Darlene Jenkins and me, none other than Rita B. Rowland. Now she's not talking a lot today because she's not feeling her best. Well, her voice sounds worse than her smile is beautiful. She's got good spirits, but she sounded like Uncle Bunny. So we're gonna give her a break today. She got a little raspiness in her voice, so we're going to give her a break today. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us here live and those that are on Facebook. So this is a disclaimer, y'all, just so you know, we're coming to you with some information that's just about what we're going to talk about today. It's going to be very generic in approach. It's not going to be based on your individual situation, which everyone here listening to us have an opportunity to sit down with us so that we can help you. So please find the information and let it hit you where it hits you. But if it's not everything you need, we'll give you that information. So thank you for joining us today. That's right, Kevin said, Darlene, hang in there. We're going to let her hang. We're just not going to let her talk too much today, Kevin.
No, for those of you who weren't on early, this is what I sound like. But my co-host holding it down. Go ahead, Rita.
I'm trying to do this thing. This is her thing, right? So we join, you join us every first and third Friday. Please share us with people. People need to have this information. This whole purpose of this show is to kind of pull back the curtain so you can get an in-depth understanding of your benefits, retirement, planning, budget, tips, is everything financial, legacy, life insurance, you name it, we talk about it. So you can register to join us live at RitaBRowlandEvents.com. For those that are online or listening by phone, it's www.RitaBRowland, ROLAND, events.com. You can like us on Facebook. For those that are on Facebook, please share us with your friends and your family. So it's Facebook.com/Your AB Solutions, and YouTube. Just go find us by typing in ABS YouTube. So thank you, share. Thank you for joining us today. It's Financial Fun Friday. And what we just said, what do we do this for? Darlene, why do we come here every first and third Friday? What's our purpose? It's so that people can really understand their money, their budgeting, their spending habits, understand their retirement plan, their goals, what strategies, what are the goals, what are the tools? That's what we do. And we bring you support and we offer solutions to help you reach your financial destination. Because at the end of the day, it's really about you. And we're here to assist you in reaching that destination because all of us got this plan in mind. And what our job is to do is to help you get there. And so today we're going to be talking about financial planning because this is Financial Planning Month. Now, here's the interesting part, y'all. When I did my research, I'm like, how did they, they got a month for everything, right? This is Purple Month. This is Sister Day. This is Brother Day. This is Dog Day. This is a day and a month for everything. But Financial Planning Month, come to find out, they had it in October because they said around the holidays, y'all would be spending more money. So they wanted you to be very careful about how much you spent and to be alarmed about your spending habits during the holidays. And so I found that interesting that we were more concerned about what we spent for Thanksgiving and Christmas than really about our real future. And so that's what this month is about, helping you think about your financial planning. But for here at ABS, we think about it holistic approach and not just from the holidays. And so as we think about it, we're going to go to the next slide. Many people, when you think about us, we don't talk about really from a tools perspective, right, Darlene? We're not just, even though we're going to talk about annuities, we'll talk about your tax plan, we'll talk about an insurance plan, we'll talk about long-term care. Those are just maybe some tools, right, that we need to get there. There's a strategy that's where ABS come into play. ABS Retirement Solution. Our job is become your strategist to help you do what though? The main thing is, what are your goals? What are your dreams? And many times, Darlene, when people start thinking about planning or retirement, they really talk about it from just a tools perspective. We understand the beginning is your dreams and goals, and then we go forward to the tools. Many people give you a tool and you got to have your dreams and goals to fit that tool when maybe that tool wasn't the right one for what you want. So we start from the beginning. And so what we want to do is just to help you understand there's some simple list and how to really have the best goals that you need. Now, if you are a client of ours or receive our newsletter, you should have gotten this week, and we're going to talk a little bit about it. So I think the question is, and they said, what's your success rate with your financial goals? Well, for all of, I'm sorry, y'all, I just got to be me, right? And so part of me is that we trust the word. And Habakkuk 2:2 says for us to write a vision and make it plain. So God told us to write our vision down and make it plain. And then here's the other part that was so important, Darlene, that the visions have an appointed time, which means that when we think about goals, everything isn't a microwave. It's for right now. It's for you looking into your future and determine, what does it look like for me for the end of the year? What does it look like for me for 2024? What does it look like for me when I retire in 3 years? What does it look like for me when I'm 70? What does it look like for me when I'm 80? And how about when I'm leaving this world and I'm no longer here? What does it look like for my kids? Those are the things that you got to write down and that you got to make a goal for. And many times out there, people live just, I get paid, I pay my bill. They have no idea what the future looks like. So for us in our staff meeting on Monday, we had to come to Jesus moment. We're like 3/4 are down. What does it look like for us for 2023? Have we hit our goals? Are we close to it? What do we need to do to shift so we can hit those goals? So ask yourself, how often are you accomplishing your goals? And how often do you left yourself down? Like, I didn't hit it, so just forget about it. No, maybe you got to tweak it. Goals are designed for you to look and say, okay, was it a realistic goal? That's an issue too. We make these goals that are high in the sky, like we want a car. So you go from paying a Toyota, the little car that's, $20,000 to you want to go buy an $80,000 car. So being able to look at your goals and be realistic, and are you on track, and what's the best, when were you on track? Did you fall off track? What happened? And here's the thing, it says a lack of willpower or forces out of your control, like getting sick, could be to blame. Sometimes there's things that blow us out, right? There's some goals we had in 2020 and a pandemic came and totally shifted those goals around. That was out of our control. But having an emergency plan and having a plan in place for when those things happen is also, and then who plans to get sick? None of us want to be sick, but hey, my mother had colon cancer when she was 34. She died at 31. She died at 34. So for 3 years, we went through, she get a paycheck, she work a week, she off for a month. Our whole world changed because she got sick. So there's things in life that will come about that can shake our goals up. But that's one of the things too about goals. When you write them down, you have to have an action plan for the what ifs in life and for the emergency. That's why when we think about you meet with us, we always talking about this emergency and savings. Why? Because there's life. There could be a government shutdown. Normally when they shut down, they come back and pay you. But it could be 2 weeks, it could be 3 weeks. And when people are panicking over not getting a paycheck for 1 week, that's an issue. But we can also fall short of our goals when we don't set the right objectives and when we don't have a great plan for achieving them. So you have a goal, but how do you achieve the goal? And this is like, if you're listening to us and you say, Rita, I've never been a goal setter. I just kind of go to work, pay my bills. I'm going to retire in 5 years. You don't have a plan, then you need to sit down with us and get a free consultation so that we can help you with that. And it can be frustrating and make it feel like you're not making any progress. And it's simply because, Darlene, we out here haphazardly living. We're just going by the day, doing this, paying this, not really caring. I met with someone yesterday and she's like in her 60s. And she said, you know, Miss Bailey, I just didn't know. And she was almost in tears. She was like, I wish I would have known. I wish they would have told me about TSP this way. I wish somebody would have said this to me. And so even listening to her, as much as she did not know, right? And I helped her to come to this place of peace. But this is where we got to stop and think about our own lives and our own future. And what can we do today? Like, I got mentors that don't know they're my mentors. Why? My business growing because I'm reading books. I do have a mentor, but I read books. I listen to things. I'm on YouTube, listen to people who can help me advance. So sometimes we don't know, but it's really still on us to do what, darling? It's on us to know and to learn. So just like we learn what our job tell us to do, we went to college for engineering. Okay, I don't understand finance. Well, you got to understand finance. This is something that's going to impact everybody. Now, we may not have to all learn engineering, but our money, we do have to understand that. So let's look at these three. We're going to talk about the top 3 goals today. We're not going to get into the detail of all of them today. And so lists can change your top goals. So what is the number 1 financial goal you write right now? So write that down if you're listening. Of course, if you're driving, don't attempt to do that. But write down what is your number 1 financial goal. And here's the thing. For most people, darling, is a home, is a condo, maybe it's a house, maybe it's your kids' education. And so understanding what that top goal is, and then write out a list to help you maintain what's going to be your objective to getting that. And then sometimes that goal has to shift based on, okay, is it realistic? And one of the things we do in the test that Arlene, what is that test we do of the animals? What is that thing called when we do the test of the animals?
You're not talking about your money personality.
No, but the one with the animals that talk about how animals can show us about money. It's not a little test.
Yeah.
Can't think, but it's something we use all the time. I'm drawing a blank, but it talks about the orangutan and the whole
the lessons from the wild. That's what
lessons from the wild. And so it's a goal thing. You think about the orangutan, it says when it gets to the tree, it don't just plop down on a tree because it needs to make sure it can bear its weight. So it kind of tests the weight of the tree to make sure it can hold it. So when you think about a goal or a house or car, so let's say you're in an apartment now and you want to buy your own home. Your apartment is $1,700. Right now, the average home, I don't know, depending on where you live, is easy. It could be 22, 23, especially with the interest rate, right? Let's say it's $2,400. You're paying rent of $1,700. That's a difference of $700. So maybe you got to put $700 aside for the next 6 months to a year, because then you know you can afford that new mortgage. When you think about your goals, you need to look at what it is that I want and how can I get there and what is my strategy to get there. Then you have to, you can refine your goals. Why? Because you need to make sure that you don't sabotage it because you was thinking too high, right? I bought a house, y'all. I can talk about this. I had a goal to buy a house. But I don't think I had to go, Darlene, from a $750 a month rent to a $4,700 mortgage. So I went $4,000 up, y'all. I went from $750 rent, all utilities included, to $4,700 a month plus utilities. We talking about almost $5,300 a month. And so understanding that and seeing what is the best way. So I should have had somebody to help me with my own goals. I had this big dealitis and I wanted what I wanted and I wasn't willing to give it up, but not willing to give it up and to shift my goal caused me to lose so much more. Not my mind, but probably almost, right? And so you have to sometimes redefine those goals to make sure that they fit in what you're doing. And then list correct or misconceptions about our goals. Right? Here's the real deal, Darlene. Sometimes we just don't understand money. And because we don't understand money, that we always don't understand. So some people are saving all of their money in their retirement plan and not having anything in their reserve. So I talked to a young lady earlier this week. She's saving 17% in her TSP, but she has $300 in her bank account. So when the emergency comes, she's always panicking and she has a lot of debt. Why? Because she's so focused on the future, which is important, that she forgot about the now. So she's not living now, she's stressing now because she's so concerned about her future. So when you think about goals, there's a balance. Here's the other balance. You can't pay off all your debt either and not save for your future or reserve. So really being educated on understanding it. And what is the benefit that I missed too for all of this? The first one is that lists can help you see your main objectives in the big picture, right? Very clearly, because you're looking at the big picture. And then the second one is that lists can bring specificity to our goals. This can help keep us motivated and to help us see better ways to achieve them. Because I don't know about y'all, if I don't have stuff written down, I don't remember, I'm not really clear. I look at my schedule probably 10 times a day to make sure I don't miss anything. I look at my bank account 2-3 times a day. One, I need to make sure I had no identity theft because everybody has compromised our information. So I just need to make sure if you steal it at 10 a.m., I'm checking at 1. I'm gonna catch you some part of the day, you're gonna get caught, right? That's it. But the third one is like, how much does a limited understanding of finances factor into your goal? If we don't understand money and if we don't know it, how do we have a plan for something, darling, that we don't know? We tend to make mistakes because of a lack of understanding. And in this day and time, y'all, we can no longer, I know I probably get on y'all nerve. I'm probably the one not like Darlene. Darlene's so sweet and nurturing. Here come this bulldog all up in your face. But because I understand, man, we gotta do some things a little bit different. And we have to be more in tune with our own future. Like, think about it. The government was about to shut down because they didn't have their stuff together. Why don't we shut down until we get our stuff together? Why don't we find a way to balance our budget, our own personal economic situation so that we can be in better position? So lists can inform and educate us about our options. Lists can also set the record straight when our thinking and facts are off base because you got this list, you got these goals, and now you done gone from 750 to 4,700. Had I had all this done in 2001, I may not would have made that big mistake. That big mistake was costly, not only in my mental, but it was costly in my pocketbook because of bad credit, because that mortgage was so high. I gave $100,000 just to my car and my mortgage, extra. In 3 years, y'all, not a lifetime. 3 years, I paid $100,000 more than I have to. That was about $3,000 more a month. What could have been done with $3,000 a month? Just imagine that $100,000 from 2004 to almost 20 years later. What could that compound have been had I, guess what? That mistake wasn't $100,000. That was a mistake compounded to the future, probably $1.2 million, $1.5 million, $2 million that I messed up. Why? Because I didn't have the right goals and I bought something that I really could not afford. So understanding that is important. So how do you spend your money? How do you plan to spend it? So the essential expenses are things that you can't get over. And that's your mortgage, that's your utility, that's insurance. Those things are necessary. Then you have these essential lifestyle, these expenses that you can do without, but is important to your retirement or your lifestyle. You know, maybe eating out with your friends once a week, going on a nice vacation every now and then, helping your grandkids with college. You don't have to do those things, but those are things you want. And then these are nice to have lifestyle expenses, spending your what you feel comfortable going without if you had to. Like, you don't really have to have that. You don't have to have that RV, Rita. You could just go ride with Kevin, okay? You really don't have to have that RV. Just go down to Florida every now and then and hang out with Kevin or have him to come up here and give you a ride. But there's some things that you really don't have to have, but you just want. And then there's the wishes, you know, the windfall spending. Like, we thank God that somebody left us a $50,000 or $100,000. Those are what those, okay, maybe you play the lottery and you was one of them ones who won. Now you're on that show, lottery winners and going to find your house. Those are some windfalls. Those are the wishes. So when you think of you know, I watched that show, like my husband said, you were watching it like you play the lottery. You're not going to win because you don't play. But it's still good to see. So when you think about how you spend your money, put it in these categories as you have your goal. The base is the foundation. That cannot be changed. Your house, your living, those things cannot be changed. But as you build up to it, you can begin to see, what does life look like for you? Where do you spend your money and how does it matter? So just wanted you to know, and we'll go over the other three. So as we think about financial planning, we'll talk about the tools all year round. Darlene is going to talk. We're going to talk about all of these products and all of these different vehicles to help you get there, right? But I think before you can get to the vehicle, we have to know, what do you want? Me and Kevin sat down. Some of y'all, we sat down. Me and Davida, me and Denise, we sit down, we talk. What it is that you want. And based on what you want, it helps dictate how we get there and what we need to do to help you get there. So I just, hopefully this is important to you guys. Don't take your participation in your future for granted. Companies can give you a product. The government can give you a pension and their FERS, and you can pay into Social Security, but none of them know who you are and what you truly want. Only you know that. Only you can put that dream in your head, those desires in your heart to paper, look at them and reevaluate them to make sure that you're hitting your goals. And that's important, because planning is bringing the future into the present so you can do something about it now. I want you to understand that planning is bringing that future into the present so you can do something about it now. So you're doing something now about your 2024 goals. You're doing something now about your retirement goal. You're doing something now about your legacy goal. You're looking into the future and you're bringing it to this present place and say, what can I do today so that I can live better in the future? That's what that's about. And we thank Alan Lakin for that statement, because it has truly changed my way of thinking. And so who are we? We're a full service financial solutions company. So we help you. These are the tools of how we get there. Retirement planning. We help you with tax-free retirement, being your own bank. How about you be your own banker and not PNC and Capital One and Chase and all these banks that got some issues going on, right? Rollovers, IRAs, those are the tools. How do you build for your retirement? 401ks, 403bs, 457, 401a. How do we help you with those tools? Estate planning. How do you leave what? That's part of your planning. Legacy. What are you going to leave to those that you love? How do you make sure that you leave them a plan and not a bill? How do you not disinherit your children? You're planning not to disinherit the people you love through what? This tool. Insurances. It changed my life when my mother died that we had some insurance. So insurance become important for us. Why? Because it fills in so many gaps. It buries us. It takes care of the children when we live. It helps to keep the mortgage going for the spouse. It leaves a legacy. It has a purpose to what? The dreams and the goals that you wrote down. That could be the vehicle, how you get there. Disability. If you get sick and hurt and you can't work, who's going to pay you the paycheck? You're now retired and your paycheck in retirement is your pension. If you get sick, long-term care, you can't perform 2 out of 6. Who's going to care for you? Darlene, she coined this thing and I use it all the time. If you've made your children your long-term care plan, can you tell them? Can you make sure that they're aware of your plan? Put it in writing. And you wrote on this day that Shirley Sue is going to be my long-term care plan, and let her sign off on it. How about that? Credit and debt elimination. At the end of the day, we can't even get some of those dreams and goals, Darlene, because we're out of control. Our budget is out of control. Our credit is bad and we have too much debt. We here at ABS help you to find those goals, those dreams, find the right strategy to help you get there, and using whatever tools we have in our planning toolbox to help you get there. So we thank you for today, for coming to share with us what's right for you. It depends. All of us are individual. We got our own desires, our own dreams, and our own situation. ABS is here to help you map out a strategy that's right for you. We help you put all of the pieces to your puzzle. Sometimes you got all the pieces but one. And what we do is to look at your entire picture from a holistic point of view. We look at everything, helping you build income, helping you look at your taxes with the right mindset. Judge Learn Hand said it's not our patriotic duty to pay more taxes than we have to. How about legacy? How about long-term care? How about just going on a vacation like someone on here? I won't tell her business, but her budget for her vacations is in the double digit because she got 13 vacations this year. That's wonderful. But guess what, y'all? It was in her plan. She met the year before. She mapped it out. She knew where she was going. She knew what it was called. And we knew what we needed to do to help her get there. That's putting the pieces together. And so we thank you for joining us today. We thank you. I know it's a little weird that you didn't hear my partner talking. We're right here in the Largo, Maryland area. But as we say, we're just a phone call away, a click away from us being able to help you via Zoom phone call. And so we thank you today. Yes, Kevin, we want her to feel better because she deserves to feel better. She feels good. She just sounds like Uncle Bunny.
I'm on the mend. I feel all of you all's energy. So thank you. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, Denise. I was trying to send you a message, but I don't talk. I don't talk fast enough or type fast enough. But thank you all so much.
Yes. So we thank you for hanging out with us today. We take it not for granted you could spend your Friday morning every first and third somewhere else. But we ask if you don't just share us with 1 or 2, share us with many more people, because the more of us are educated, the less people that me and you're going to have to help take care of. How about that? The more people that you invite, the more friends and family that are educated about their finances, the less they'll be in your pocket with your finances. So it's all of our duties to share this information, because it doesn't just help you, it helps those loved ones who always got their hands out like cups. Okay. If anybody remember my man from the 80s with the community. I love him. Robin.
I can't think of his name, but
Robin Harris, I think. It was funny. So you guys have a great day. Darlene, from all of our hearts to yours, feel better.